Somebody asked me to make a video yesterday, another Social Security Administration SSA update video. And I did a little bit of research only to find out that there's some changes coming, as always, to Social Security. Now, this is going to be primarily Social Security and retirement. I don't know if necessarily it's going to have an impact on SSI or SSDI or any other payments facilitated by the Social Security Administration, but there's no shortage of headlines hitting the news about proposed cuts to Social Security, as well as there's a new growing amount, an influx of headlines about full retirement age, or FRA, collecting Social Security early, potentially seeing Social Security FRA age pushed out to a higher age, people living longer, and the possible drawbacks to collecting Social Security as early as possible in comparison to your life expectancy and your overall full payout, as you would receive a reduction of how much you would receive from Social Security collecting early, whereas, depending on how long you live, could ultimately be less of a benefit total than collecting full retirement age, which could be extended, and then not living as long or living longer. And at the end of the day, it's a gamble. Much like the possibility of the Social Security Trust Fund experiencing a deficit by 2034 and not being able to pay out 100% of Social Security according to expectations, with no solidified plan in place, I think. Because I tell you guys, you gotta believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And unfortunately, I think they are beginning to show their next plan or next phase of this strategy that they've been preparing for. Because I've told you guys on videos here recently that the success of the Fed and inflation being the lowest in 2 years, even though we know that is somewhat of a half-truth. Now, they're saying that inflation being as low as it is, and potentially being lower as they manipulate the numbers moving forward to get what they want and to trick people, that the cost of living adjustment will be less. Maybe even at some point in time they come to a desperate move and say that they're going to actually retract the cost of living adjustment, make it a reduction, a negative. Who knows? Anything's possible, but we all know the truth. And the truth of the matter is that pretty much everything that really matters to the fixed income budget of a Social Security recipient doesn't actually get calculated in the CPI. Therefore, to have the CPI directly related to your cost of living, your COLA adjustments, makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Not to mention the abundance of misrepresentations of what's happening to Social Security in June and July and later on this year and next year, stating that you'll get double payments in June. Therefore, we could also say you're not going to get a payment in July. Which one makes you feel better? Which one gets your vote? Which one keeps you calm? Which one causes the least disturbance? Double payments in June because you're not getting a payment in July. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get 12 payments a year, you're going to get 12 payments a year. What if they just gave you all 12 in January? What if they said 12 payments in January? No payments for February through December. It's the same thing. And I don't know if people are really listening to this, but I will say that the way that these articles are written and delivered, they try to make it appear as though double payments in July is a good thing, and it's going to help these fixed income benefit recipients, beneficiaries, get ahead. And that's not true. It'll allow you to get access to your money sooner. But unfortunately, if you're not getting more money, I don't really see how that's going to help you get ahead. You're kicking the can down the road, okay? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Despite all these claims, none of them encourage finding ways of multiplying, diversifying, and increasing your income, which is important because for Social Security, I don't believe as though there's any restriction on how much you can earn. Now, SSI and SSDI is a completely different story. But if it's me, and it's not because I'm nowhere near the retirement age for Social Security, and odds are I'll never receive Social Security because I haven't paid into Social Security because majority of my life will ultimately end up being self-employed. But maybe they will give me some because I do have to pay my payroll tax as a S-Corp elected LLC. So I'm going to check into that. But I also have zero faith in the program and no expectation of there being any funds available by the time I'm 62, 65, 69, 70, 100. By then they may change it. You got to be 100 years old to collect. I don't know. Obviously, I'm joking about that, but who knows? Anything's possible. But even with SSI and SSDI, there are work programs that will allow you to earn an income on top of your SSI, SSDI without losing it. But ultimately, the goal needs to be working towards earning enough to replace the loss of SSI, SSDI, and then from there continuously growing, building, earning more. Moving on to saving and investing, for sure, without a doubt. And this perhaps may be why so many people have signed up here recently to join us on Patreon to have these conversations, to learn more about side hustles and online jobs and other ways of producing additional income, ultimately developing passive income streams. Why I've even received emails from other content creators, other channels, other podcasts requesting that my wife and I be guests on their videos or their shows or on their panels to have these talks and have these conversations and break it down in real time from real people talking about real things to other real people who really get it. Because granted, my opinion, odds are a continuation of what we have now for another 4 years is going to be a huge challenge for a lot of people financially. Whereas inversely, if we were to see some form of change, then I would expect that there could be some forward progress in our overall economy and business and personal financial balance sheets, the strength of the economy, recovery and actual recovery, and none of this breaking more things to fix them to say that we did a good thing. No, let's actually do a good thing. But only time will tell. We have a few months until that happens. But at the end of the day, red, white, blue, green, yellow, doesn't matter what color it is, they are, what side they're on. We have to have the mindset. We have to wake up every single day. Thank you. With the cup of coffee from Orange County. We have to wake up every single day thinking to ourselves, okay, how do I get ahead? How do I do better? How do I make more? How do I spend less? How do I save? How do I invest? How do I grow? How do I increase what I have? How do I make my money work for me versus me working for it? We got to have these plans. We got to have these talks. We got to have these discussions. We got to have these strategies. Hope is not a plan. And a plan without action is nothing more than a dream or a wish, okay? There's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's nothing wrong with wishing. There's nothing wrong with having hope. But Michelle was actually watching the Hunger Games series, and I came in on one particular scene that was it was strange timing. And it was, his name is Snow. I don't know. Is it Senator Snow or something? I don't know what his official government title is. But she was like, yeah, I really wanted to watch this movie because it was just, it was calling me as, this is an accurate representation of how the government is ultimately trying to destroy its people for their own personal benefit, amusement, entertainment, greed, whatever it may be. But he said that let's give them a little bit of hope, because hope is the only instinct or emotion that is stronger than fear. But mostly they're pumping fear into the public. So you sprinkle in just a little bit of hope. That'll get them going. That'll keep them going until we hit them with the next wave of fear, the next crash of fear. Whether it's going to be a food shortage or a fuel shortage or a recession or job loss or Social Security cuts or, invasion and conflict and this cold proxy war, housing affordability crisis, living cost issues, healthcare issues, injections into our food and water sources, destroying our air quality. The list goes on and on. But they have a plan and they have a strategy. And they hope that we don't. They hope that we have fear and a little bit of hope. And I can tell you guys right now, if you have a plan and you have a strategy and you work towards accomplishing your goals day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you can make it happen. Far better than just hoping and praying and relying on someone to come knocking on your door to say, hey, it's the government. We're here to help you.